I'm Maria.
And the image we're looking at is a carpet. It's a picture of a carpet we took at this awesome weekend Maria and I had in a hotel in Newport. And it was such an inspiration that we thought, okay, this is going to be a Fragment and Reticula Tangle. And so I'm setting out to do the basic Reticula to set this up. And I'm using Renaissance tiles, our tan tile, and I'm using a triangular fragment shape. So I'm taking advantage of a 3Z tile. I just wanted to get that first angle set up there. And I am drawing my straight lines towards me. I always turn the tile and draw the straight line toward me. And here, this is a tip actually that Maria taught me. You want to talk about this?
Oh, so when you want to draw a line diagonally through a grid, it's always easier to go from corner to corner to the little spaces rather than try to draw a straight line going that hits all the spots that you want to hit.
And here I'm starting to draw each fragment by putting a triangle inside those triangular shapes. And you'll notice that I turn the tile each time because for two reasons. One is I draw my line toward me, and also this way I get the space the same. Now here we're going into making the fragment shape by extending each of the three lines of the inner triangle to the outer edge of the fragment. And then the question is, well, what do you do with the one adjacent to it? You'll notice that I make it so that each line shares a meeting point across the fragments. And this way I don't have to think about, okay, well, which way does the one next to it go? And see, so that one's going to go and just touch that one from the other fragment. And then I like figure out, you can see me thinking there, figuring out, okay, well, which way would the other one go? So each of those three pieces is overlapping each other. Okay, so there it's all done with the lines. And if you look at it, there's actually two different fragments, but we didn't have to know that to begin. So I wanted to make emphasize the different shapes within here, like the way that carpet was. And so I'm using different color pens. Here I'm using a blue micron. And I'm just filling that in with straight lines and leaving a gap.
So sometimes instead of filling in black or solid, you can see this sort of gives it some texture that makes it sort of interesting.
So I'm filling in all of the shapes that, imagine this being like some sort of superstructure or girders or something that would be on the same plane. Now I'm going to use a brown pen, and I'm going to do all the ones that are in a different direction or on a different plane. And I'm going to use that same technique of just drawing lines with a little gap in there, not trying to fill it in solid like Maria said.
I find this to be much more meditative than actually blackening in.
So it's really great on feeling the stroke. Now, what happened here, I started to do the same thing with the black pen, but my black pen didn't have as much ink in it. And when I looked at that technique next to the blue, I couldn't really tell any difference. So I started to just use that same technique, but exaggerated. So there's the finished part, and you can compare it with, see the inspiration of the carpet. But now we're going to go back and do some shading. And so I'm sort of thinking like, what would be the, the darker part? So it's
the logical parts.
Yeah, but like where would, regardless of where the light is, okay, that's underneath. So let's put some graphite in those places. And I'm just sort of slobbering it on really thick because I know I'm going to go back in with the tortillon and just smooth that out. And so there's the result with that shading. You know, and it just looked empty. So after signing it to look like the pattern, I'm just adding some shading on the outside. And so it's a little, just adds a different feel. But not enough.
I had to go in and say, you know, there was just something missing here. And so I added a little white to brighten it up,
So-
and then some poke leaf.
And look at that. So you can see the individual pieces make sense, but when you look at them together, there's this like Escher impossibility. So this is a wonderful, fun tangle. We encourage you to take a look yourself, and we'll see you soon.
Give it a try. Bye.